When a customer comes to me at the bank, I want them to feel like it's on a personal level. A lot of my existing customers, I feel like we're more family than just a customer-banker relationship, and that I'm doing everything I can to help them. And when they leave my desk, I want them to say, wow, that Shelley Kearns at Happy State Bank really cares about me, and I want them to tell their friends and family that.
Let's call this meeting to order. Turn it over to the city manager.
Sonia brought that back for everybody.
That's nice.
Oh, there's me.
Hey, Jim. I think I need to ask this there. Yeah, we can end that.
Wasn't much fun.
No chocolate and taco pussy.
Wasn't much fun.
No, I think we got around to talking with
We
you.
did. We did.
I think it was neat.
All in your
Blame it
name.
on me.
All in your name.
Okay, Mayor, item number 1. Number 1 being the minutes from last week's meeting. You know, 3 that was here read all that? We're all good? Thank you. Moving to item number 2, resolution, election canvassing. This resolution canvasses the returns and declares the results. As you see on the second page or the last page of that resolution, that's what you are approving. So congratulations to all of you.
Mayor, when you read that, that's just the regular election. We don't have a special one this time.
Well,
It's the regular.
What's that now?
We copied that from
Oh, okay,
the last
gotcha.
2 years ago.
Scratch special.
Yeah, it's just
Gotcha.
the regular election.
and the resolution is titled correctly, so just the change on the caption. And then on item number 3, Judge Douglas Woodburn will be here to administer the oath of office. And immediately following the administration of the oath, we have an item set aside. If each of you would like to make a comment, a statement, or a remark, please feel free to do so under item number 4.
Well, I noticed you had a deal in the notes about, should we come down front and do that? He said we could do it from the.
I would suggest maybe we just do that from the dais.
Okay.
We'll be facing the right direction, the microphones and everything will be in place.
Okay. Do we stand while we do that? Yeah.
Stand while you take the oath.
Stand while you take the oath.
Yeah, the mics will pick that up. Okay.
Yeah, I think they will.
All righty.
All right, and then the next item, item number 5, resolution calling a public hearing. So this is setting the date. This is not taking action on the property. This is setting the date of June 18, 2013 for 1620 and 1622 in North Arthur. Of 1620 and 1622.
It's in it on some 10-5.
Which were the years?
1620 and 1622, North Arthur. Okay. Item number 6, second and final reading of an ordinance changing the zoning out in Quail Creek. This is the new development out there, and this is going from R2 to R3. Kelly, any changes, comments, questions? And again, this is to allow greater density on the lots that are out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess go back through it. We had a great discussion last week. This was a change requested by the developer at the insistence of the builders largely, because the buyers are wanting a larger home, but such larger home to still be on the same size lot. So the R3 allows them that greater density. Also allows a different front setback, but the developer has that trumped by deed restrictions, so it won't actually enter into play.
So the front lawns will all be the still deep, and the extra house space will be taken up with the backyard.
Correct. Exactly right.
But when you tell me I'm exactly right.
Exactly right. As I remember it.
To the best of my recollection. Item number.
Never in doubt and seldom wrong. That's Commissioner.
Exactly.
Mayor, moving right along to item number 7, ordinance 7403. This is the bring back. This is the second final reading of the ordinance on your Atmos Energy franchise agreement. We did the first one some weeks ago.
Can we forward this down to some commission or something in Austin and make it take, an extra 6 months?
Well, the gap between your first and your second, so we can go through the required postings in the newspaper, that some other regulatory bodies don't have to do. Regardless,
Yeah.
this is your final action on that.
It's not right.
He's not right. No, it isn't.
But you're not referring to this ordinance on that tape recording, you say this is.
No, I'm referring to the state.
The state.
The
The
state-
The state of the state.
And
The state.
their motivation and how they deal with the public. And, are a little concerned about fairness.
Okay, item number 8. Item number 8 is confirmation of an appointment to the tax increment reinvestment zone number 1. This is the seat formerly held by Mr. James Wester, and the seat belongs to the Panhandle Groundwater Conservation District. At that body's most recent board meeting, they have nominated Mr. John Merritt of Amarillo to serve in Mr. Wester's place.
That's good.
Okay, consent agenda. Item A consists of 3 separate projects. The first project is the International Paper Company project. This is for a new machine worth $2 million. It'll be located at their present facility, which is up on Northeast 24th here in Amarillo. The Amarillo EDC voted unanimously to basically rebate the additional amount of the business personal property tax that will result from that. So, not adding new jobs, but certainly making it a more efficient facility and a more secure facility.
And retaining the jobs.
Absolutely. Just as important as getting new ones. Questions on the International Paper project? All 3 of these AEDC projects were approved last Tuesday, and all were approved unanimously. Item number 2, Coca-Cola Refreshments Distribution Center. The particular item approves the Amarillo EDC's contract with Southwest General Contractors. What they will do then for this $3.989 million contract is expand and renovate the former Zargus building. And that building is located at the Centerport Business Park. Upon the completion of that, there will then be, in effect, a swap where Coca-Cola will move to the former Zargus building. All of the blue color will be gone, it will be all red. And this roughly 3.5 blocks over here will then become available to the city through the Amarillo Economic Development Corporation and available for downtown redevelopment.
Did Zargus move into that building? Didn't they?
They
And they operated for a while.
I don't know that they ever went into
Production.
production. They had their front office people, I think they had some of their engineering and tooling and that kind of stuff, but I'm not sure that they ever went into manufacturing.
Well, refresh my memory. They paid us for something, rent or whatever it was.
They paid rent, and basically they paid back what had been put into it, and then, of course, the building itself always was, and remained the property of AEDC.
They made us completely whole before they locked.
They made AEDC
I was thinking
completely
that they
whole.
walked away honorably.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Of course, that, and I think that that point needs to be made, because there is philosophy on the street. Philosophy is too good a word to use for some of these knuckleheads. That there is opinion on the street that, you know,
It's not very broad. Anybody that understands it at all doesn't think that.
I understand.
People have forgotten that.
Yeah. Well, but I think that that's a valid and a very important point. And here again, I had part of this conversation with Jerry yesterday. And I'm having it with y'all today, and I'm hoping with council that it's acceptable because it's on this particular subject. And that is that I don't, within reason and within parameters of some kind, I think the more we can explain things and make it a matter of record, they're not going to be in the audience. They're not going to listen, in all due respect, they're not going to read Kevin's newspaper or George's newspaper. They make these things up. But we'll have our records to reflect back on. And so I think that a few extra facts, a little extra time, maybe would pay some kind of dividends. Probably not, but maybe.
And Jim, don't you think that this really goes to the fact that AEDC deals with very reputable companies, very ironclad contracts, and they just are exhausted in their ability to put these deals together. So if somebody's business plan goes wrong, they're prepared to deal with it.
And it's going to happen.
Reflects on.
It's happened in the past, and I promise you it's going to happen.
Well, it's metered out too, so there's, it doesn't happen all at once. If they can't meet the demands for a while, then they pay that part.
I was at a lunch yesterday with people who had read Kevin's story, and they were complaining that that AEDC had spent the money redoing the building for Zargus, and now they were going to redo it again for Coca-Cola. And so it was, yeah, exactly. And also, they had forgotten or never knew the fact that Zargus had completely
And paid for
made
that.
us whole, had paid for that before they left. No, so that's an important point.
It's a very good point. The Zargus facility was designed as a manufacturing facility. Coca-Cola's operation is a distribution operation. So the expansion, part of it is a maintenance facility for their trucks, which I think is a very good thing to have and to have on site. It includes concrete, a large part of that facility. That manufacturing operation, everything's happening inside. Distribution just come and go. They need to do that. And that will keep it operating more efficiently longer.
I think people also lose track of just that it's a swamp, that we're getting something for that. You know, 3 blocks of downtown.
3.5.
3.5.
Well, obviously, the preparation for what can be done further downtown is expedited by dealing with Coca-Cola versus a half dozen or a dozen owners on the other part.
Well,
Yeah, I did think about that.
and another question that comes to my mind, when the claim is made that, yeah, well, all this was done in that good old back smoke-filled room.
Not quite. It's all right here.
And I don't know if this is a readily available number, but there have been numerous renditions of the fully developed downtown, which includes the MPEP right stinking there.
There's a
One in our lobby,
It's been
as
sitting
Yeah.
in our lobby since August of 2011.
And yet this was all behind closed doors.
Well, those are silly remarks, and if they're.
I know,
checked out,
but I get tired of them.
I do too. but-
Also, the idea that we all have skin in the game, AEDC, the CBC, everybody has, DAI, Center City. I'm
Tiers,
trying to think of
did you say tiers?
Yeah, tiers. Everybody has skin in the game, and this is AEDC's piece of the skin.
And you know, the chance, and I think it was in Kevin's article, Coca-Cola could leave here. They just built a wonderful facility in Lubbock that could handle Amarillo's operation.
They won't know.
How would that
Yeah,
go in your pipe?
yeah.
Anyway, I just, because I got mauled in the grocery store Saturday.
Well, that's what happened to me at lunch. I was like, whoa, what?
And every person that stopped me was wrong.
Problem is, the person who writes the story doesn't write the headlines.
Oh, I know that. We've had that discussion at length. And I feel sorry for him, in fact, because the headline writer is anonymous. Kevin's not. And neither are we. But anyway. So, I just wanted to make that
That
point.
needs to be said.
All good points. Any additional questions or comments on the Coca-Cola Refreshments Distribution Center project?
Buzz is going to be here, or Brian, or somebody.
I believe Buzz and Brian both, actually.
Here in the lobby.
Oh, they're supposed to be here. We'll just
Yeah.
roll on through their last
They could have
item
heard
and
all
then take a
that.
break.
I haven't heard it all. Okay.
So don't put that in the story.
What?
I told him, don't put that in the story.
Yeah.
Why, there they are.
AEDC project number 3.
We've been talking about you guys.
We're
I just
done.
asked the question, are you going to be here today?
Sorry, Buzz, we just almost got them handled.
Oh, Drew, you want us over here?
Sure.
Thus, I'll repeat, briefly repeat a remark that I made, that I think that
Exactly.
within parameters, within reason, the better we can explain these projects one more time after 1,000, whatever, the better off we'll be in the long run. They're not going to be in attendance more than likely. They won't read Kevin's newspaper or George's newspaper. Very few of them will listen when they watch TV, and they can't cover a story of this magnitude in 30 seconds anyway. My point being that at least we make it a matter of record how in-depth we went when we made this decision. And, I was talking about how, Zargus had made us whole on the building out there, relatively speaking. Most of this money's going to convert it from manufacturing to processing, or whatever you want to classify the Coke's operation. Anyway, things like that, and then the fact that, if you had this, how much better this is going to be, and the fact that Lubbock just completed a state-of-the-art operation, and very easily could handle everything that they do in Lubbock. Everything that's done in Amarillo could be handled out of Lubbock. I think that within reason, more remarks that can be made, and made as a matter of record, and coming from the guys that put it together. And then, the point about how long it's been on the street, of where the ballpark, the impact was going to be. So this wasn't concocted last week. And then a lot of what you guys do has to be done in secret, if that's the right word.
Jim, just let me ask you a question. I'm a little curious, because this has been in the press for years.
I know.
For years now. What was it that triggered that kind of a reaction?
I don't know.
That's bizarre to me.
I don't know. I can't, but here again, I have never been accosted like that in the grocery store. I mean, once every 6 months somebody has stopped me, but 3.
I've had
Go to the
really
grocery
good-
store.
I've had very positive response from the community as I got to talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
these things. I think we may be concerned about a very small group. I just look back at the vote. Everybody's been pretty transparent about what we're moving towards and what we're trying to do. We got
Again.
a huge amount of vote in the last election, and this is probably the biggest controversy in the whole
Yeah.
issues.
And I'm not saying
Well
we're crazy,
supported.
and take 3 hours.
Well, this is really complicated, and so people, even who are for downtown development, forget, what the next steps were going to be. So it doesn't hurt to talk about it again.
I'll be happy to speak to
We
what
had
it does for
a
them.
major employer with a long history in Amarillo who worked with AEDC and ultimately with the city to make this possible. It's security for them, it's a new facility for them, it's 3.5 blocks of downtown property that otherwise would not reasonably become available.
Dozens of jobs retained here.
Well, the synergy is really important here. The timing is exactly right.
Hotline.
We could just as easily been looking for a location to build a brand new facility for them to move to. Well, why not utilize one that you have that's available, it's vacant, we own it, but we're gonna make some improvements to it that'll make it more efficient for them to operate out. But I just see this as winning for everyone.
Absolutely.
Clears up some property for a major project downtown, if that happens. If it doesn't.
It'll still be valuable.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Some of the criticism in past years is that we don't support our local businesses enough, or existing businesses. And this just proves the point that we do support businesses in our community that are already established, that provide jobs and contribute to the economy. And where possible, you do that. And so, you know, if we could get more new business, that's fine. You're going to keep looking for those, but we do support local.
You know, whether it's a new business coming here or one that's here that expands or just stays, job's a job. If you look at our portfolio of success we call it, which is all the projects we've done in the last 23 years, there's a lot longer list of local companies we've assisted in expansions, growth, or whatever, new facility and all that, there is new ones, because people don't move somewhere every day. That's a very rare thing.
And it's a very competitive world
Yeah.
in which you guys operate.
Absolutely.
Anyway. All right.
When they built the United, you need to
You will.
stop going to Market Street.
Number 3. I don't think we have grocery stores on the agenda. I'm going to have to do number 3
Yeah, it's like,
now.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Whisper tail.
Don't whisper very well.
Item number 3 is a project for AEDC to provide matching funds to Texas A&M Agri-Life Research and Extension, what used to be TEEX and was prior to that extension, for a plant pathology greenhouse at the Bushland facility. Worked very closely in past years with both of those organizations, the Bushland ARS and AgriLife. Both of them pretty tremendous. You know, the Bushland ARS was part and parcel of the recovery from the Dust Bowl. That's one of the original ones. So it's pretty impressive facilities for both. Yeah, there's an original Graham Haney plow out there that was tested.
Save
It
the
was just
planes.
made right out here in North Town.
Yeah, it's sitting out in front, so if you haven't
Dr.
been out
Porter
there.
put us on
Hmm?
that. Dr. Porter.
Buzz, explain when it says supports farming and ranching operations in the region. Do you know what it does? I'm just curious.
Well, the research they do is critical to the agricultural community around here. And that's where the research done to help people with crop diversification, crop
Efficiencies.
analysis and everything.
Variety improvements, whether it be grasses or grain crops or small grains or whatever it happens to be.
And they used to test windmills, what kind of windmills out there.
That was Dr. Nolan Clark's project. Nolan is retired, but he's still here working on the Oglala initiatives.
Who is?
Dr. Nolan Clark.
My daughter
Those
had her
funny
first
egg
job
beater
there.
looking windmills that they have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a micro power expert. Installs those things in coastal Alaskan villages and all kinds of deals.
Yeah, they're a big, well-kept secret.
Yep. Item B, aviation clear zone easements, just an assortment of those. And of course, the good thing with that is property is transferring or moving hands or being developed, and it shows a sign of progress and protects your airport. Your final item, item C, 2 dedication and acceptances. Number 1, I would point out that that's actually a city easement going to Excel. That supports the relocation of the electrical service at the 808 Pearson, or 808 South Buchanan building on Pearson. Then the other is for Bell Helicopter. Some of the work they're doing out there, getting their new facility open. The Relentless facility.
Looking good out there. That's
moving.
done.
I thought that was Jim's for a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Mayor and Commission, any questions on the agenda? Mayor, if we could, I'd like to call a closed session, and we do need a bit of an update also from Bud and Brian while they're still here, so if your wishes, we can do that first.
The Mayor and Commission call a closed session pursuant to the following exception.